Good morning. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Debbie Williamson. I'm Vice President for Enrollment Management here at CSU. And to our CSU family, our faculty, our staff, our students that are here, our current and prospective students, and all of our guests, we welcome you to the dedication of the Jairy C. and Carolyn K. Hunter Center. I especially want to recognize today our Board of Trustees. So if you're here, I know many of you are, if you would just kind of stand and raise your hand, that would be great. Awesome. We also have several members here from our Women's Council at CSU, who's very important to us, who raise funds for student scholarships and just supports us tremendously. So if you would stand, those of you who are here. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is indeed a special day in the life and history of Charleston Southern University, and I'm honored and actually very excited to have the opportunity to welcome you to this ceremony. It's been a long time coming, and it's exciting. I can tell you a couple of weeks ago when the letters started going up on the building, we all in this building became very excited, as did the rest of the campus. So it's a beautiful sight. The original 5,000 square foot building, which is to my left, was the Hunter Reception Center, and it was built almost 25 years ago, although it still looks brand new. And it came about as a vision of Mr. Richard Furman from Lancaster, South Carolina. And he was a member of our Board of Visitors and obviously a resident of Lancaster. And he thought it was important that the university have a facility where guests could come and students and parents could come, and it would be sort of a welcome center to the campus. And so with his efforts and many from Lancaster, we're able to raise funds to build this portion of the building. So it was the Hunter Reception Center, and it was dedicated in 1991. But soon after the original building was built, the administration began on a long journey, a dream, and a much great need to have an additional facility that would provide central convenient location for our student services, which would include our undergraduate and graduate admissions offices, financial aid, registrar, student accounts, student employment, and veteran services. And if you walked through the building this morning, you saw some of those offices and folks working, and we just love the facility. It's not only beautiful, but extremely functional and very convenient for our students. The new 5,400 square foot addition to the original reception center serves all of those folks that we just talked about. So at this time, I'd like to recognize the architects that helped us with this portion of the facility, the Leo Architecture. So if you would stand. There we go, over here. Also our builders from MB Con Construction, if you would stand. This beautiful Hunter Center expansion is dedicated today to Carolyn K. Sissy Hunter, the university's First Lady, and this entire facility has now been renamed the Jairy C. and Carolyn K. Hunter Center. So we're very excited about that. Our First Lady has served over 30 years, just servant leadership during the President Jairy Hunter's tenure, and she is everywhere, and I saw her out in the crowds this morning, family, friends, just people who have known us over the years and known this family over the years and just wanted to come out and support at this time, and we greatly appreciate that. I've had the privilege to serve this great university for beginning 23 years under the leadership of the Hunters. And for the entire time, I've called this building my home. Now, I think I've been in every office in the building, but it has been my home for this entire time. It's a great addition to CSU, a great resource to our prospective students, our current students, our parents, and our campus guests. So thank you for being here today to share our excitement and to honor Dr. and Mrs. Hunter for their service to CSU. Blessings to each of you.
It is a special day, a special celebration, and an event that we've looked forward to for many, many years now. And it's a privilege to participate in this special event, the dedication of the Hunter Reception Center. And this dynamic duo down here, They have opened their hearts and their homes, their lives to all of us. They have invited people to their homes, invited people to the community, invited people to the churches, invited people to CSU. And they are the salt of the earth type people that they make people feel welcome, good people. And you feel at home with them. We appreciate their service over these years. And I know my first connection with them was back in 1990 when I first moved, before I moved to the area as pastor of Summerville Baptist Church, and I received a letter from the Hunters and from Dr. Hunter welcoming me and my family to the community and to the church. And then as I've observed them over the years, I see that they are that type of people, welcoming people to this event, to that event, to church, to school. In fact, I've been with Dr. Hunter on occasions, and we'd be in the restaurant and talking to maybe the waitress or the waiter and start a conversation and trying to find out, well, are you in school somewhere? What are you doing? No, I'm not in school, but I'd like to go to school somewhere. And Dr. Hunter has their name and address down before they know it, you know, before we even order. So he's always inviting, welcoming people, making people feel at home right here at CSU. Over their years of service, they've made a great impact on hundreds and hundreds of lives. They've touched and made a difference, and we thank you. And this building behind me here will continue their ministry of inviting, greeting, and welcoming people to this place. It's in your honor that we have this. Join me in prayer. Father, we thank you for this day and for this special time, for this special event. And we thank you for the service of Dr. and Mrs. Hunter, for all the lives that they've touched, for the impact they've made. And we thank you for the CSU family and all that it has done, is doing, and will continue to do in the coming days and years. We thank you for the privilege of participating in this dedication of the Hunter Reception Building. And we pray that much honor and glory will be brought to you through this ministry here. May all who come through these doors be touched in a special way and welcomed in your family and in this CSU family. And we thank you for the service, the ministry, and the dedication that Jairy and Sissy has demonstrated over these years. Thank you that we can participate in this service of dedication and commitment. In Jesus' name, amen.
To God be the glory in all that we do. To Dr. Hunter and Mrs. Hunter, it is definitely a pleasure being here today. I had the opportunity of meeting you years ago when I worked for Congressman Henry Brown. Today, I am here representing Senator Tim Scott. And the senator couldn't be here today, but he wanted to make sure that you knew that his prayers are always with you and that he will always be here if you need him. On his behalf, I am making this presentation to the both of you. The flag of the United States of America. Dr. and Mrs. Jairy C. Hunter. This is to certify that a request was made with the architect of the Capitol, and a flag will be flown over the United States Capitol on this date to commemorate the dedication of the Jairy C. and Carolyn K. Hunter Center at Charleston Southern University, June 11th, 2014. Tim Scott, U.S. Senate.
Dr. and Mrs. Hunter, my fellow colleagues, Mayor SUMMEY, Mayor Collins, members of the Board of Visitors, faculty, staff, friends and supporters of Charleston Southern University. It's a special honor to be here at this wonderful occasion. My connections with Charleston Southern go way back to Dr. John Hamrick when this was an idea. He was close friends of my father, and Mendel Rivers, his good friend, and so through that watched the amazing development, and from a wonderful idea into this extraordinary university. And proud of the city of Charleston's connection. This land was once owned by the City Waterworks, the Commissioners of Public Works, the part of the Goose Creek watershed a long time ago, and so proud to have helped play a role in this amazing development. And you know, as I have the wonderful job that the citizens have been so gracious to allow me to attend to, I have the opportunity to observe the challenges and responsibilities of a college president and the college president's spouse, and the various constituencies to which they are responsible, diverse constituencies. The students for their education, their well-being, their happiness and safety and intellectual as well as personal growth. To their families that sacrifice to send them there and love them very much, to make sure that you're fulfilling that responsibility to the families. To the faculty and staff of a university, which always have important ideas and contributions, and another constituency to the alumni that have a deep, permanent connection, to the board, to those who donate money and time and energy, to that, and to keep all of those constituencies happy, and to be serving them is an extraordinary job. And these last 30 years, the blessing that Sissy and Jairy Hunter have been to Charleston Southern University and all those constituencies over those 30 years, and then to this metropolitan area is extraordinary. And you know, it's so perfect that as I read that this is considered kind of a front porch of the university for the students and their families and all. And you know, the front porch is a especially Southern term because we first of all grew up without air conditioning, and the climate year-round allows us to occupy a front porch, and that's the welcoming place. That's where you were. That's where you greeted people walking along the street or coming by, and gracious people that had a spirit or a way of making you want to come up and say hello, of welcoming you in, made that street and that home very special. And those are exact qualities that Sissy and Jairy have so amazingly given this university, and all the people that they've been served over the years, that warm, gracious, loving, interested, happy countenance that, you know, for the graduates, that's always a part of their recollection of their time at this university. It's the personality of this wonderful duo that have led Charleston Southern. And so to have the opportunity to help celebrate the dedication of this building that has a very significant role, and one that so perfectly relates to the contributions of Sissy and Jairy, it is a special pleasure. And I would therefore like to present this proclamation. Whereas Dr. Jairy C. Hunter, Jr. has been president of Charleston Southern University since 1984. Dr. Hunter is the second president of the university and is professor of business administration. And whereas Mrs. Carolyn K. Sissy Hunter, in her role as First Lady, has been active in day-to-day special events of the university. She has served on the BUC Club Board of Directors, the CSU Women's Council. Ms. Hunter is a member of the Legacy Society and the President's Club. The university awarded Mrs. Hunter an honorary doctorate of education in 1999 for her leadership and dedicated service. And whereas Dr. Hunter and Mrs. Hunter have made innumerable contributions to Charleston Southern University, adding graduate degree programs in education, business, criminal justice, nursing, organizational leadership, and organizational management. Undergraduate programs have been established in nursing, student ministry, athletic training, management arts, health promotion, and graphic design. Numerous online undergraduate and graduate programs have been added as well. Student enrollment has grown from 1,600 to 3,300, and several new buildings have been constructed. And whereas in honor of their contributions and dedication to Charleston Southern University, the university is dedicating a new wing of the Hunter Center to Carolyn K. Sissy Hunter and renaming the entire building the Jairy C. and Carolyn K. Hunter Center. The Hunter Center, located strategically on the front of the campus, serves as the university's reception center for prospective students, alumni, and guests. Now, therefore, I, Joseph P. Riley, Jr., Mayor of the City of Charleston, do hereby proclaim June 11, 2014 as Dr. Jairy C. and Carolyn K. Hunter Day in the City of Charleston in recognition of their many contributions, and further applaud the dedication and service of these outstanding public leaders and congratulate them on this great honor. Congratulations.
The college and asked them to accept me without taking an SAT. And I was accepted on academic probation, which meant if I didn't maintain a 2.0, I would be booted out after the first semester. But I did. 4 years later, I graduated. And who would have thought that a little fellow that graduated the first full 4-year graduating class of this college would become the mayor of North Charleston and serve this city for the last 20 years in that role. And that is to speak about the opportunities that have been offered to so many young people since 1965 to enhance the quality of life of themselves, their families, and others. And it's because this location has given opportunity to people. I remember the first year we were here. When it was raining, we called it the mud hole. When it was dry, we called it the dust bowl, because the construction equipment was moving around as we were going to class. And I remember there was one business establishment on Highway 78 between here and Rivers Avenue. It was called Otis Dro's. Had a little store there. You could go get a sweet roll and some milk. You can tell I enjoyed sweet rolls. And we used to go there, and that was the only thing here. But Charleston Southern's investment in this property, look at Highway 78 today. They were the vision leader in what could happen up here. Since 2012 alone, there has been $26 million in commercial property development between I-26 and Rivers Avenue. That's just the commercial development, not talking about housing, just commercial operation in the last year and a half. And that says that this is a happening place that we've got going on here. But if it hadn't been for the initial investment to put a university here that offered opportunity for everyone. Sissy, my wife has a couple of sayings. She's a 1970 graduate of Baptist College, now Charleston Southern. And one is, behind every successful man is a successful woman. And behind every successful woman is herself. But knowing how you have supported Jairy over the 30 years that he's been here, I think Eleanor Roosevelt put it much more succinctly. And she said that if you want to know how strong a woman is, look at a bag of tea. Because when she gets in hot water, you really know how strong she is. You've been in hot water for 30 years dealing with this guy. I want to tell you. But you two have been an inspiration to everybody in the community. And words can't really express how we appreciate what you've done. You've not only made this a wonderful university for young people wanting to advance their lives. You've made it for people who've wanted to come back to school and advance their lives as well. You've opened those doors for them. But you've opened doors to the community as well. And I think that we wouldn't be where we are today as Charleston Southern University if it was not for the dedication that the two of you have given this great community in which we live. I'm very proud to be an alum of Charleston Southern University. My wife is equally, and we're very proud of what it represents, not just to this community, but the entire state of South Carolina. Your dedication and your compassion for people has been something that everybody looks at and is amazed at. Thank you for your contributions to making life better for all of us and giving young people an opportunity to move on into service. Your legacy will be left long after you leave the position that you're in, because you have touched the lives of young people who will transfer that they learned to their children, and then it will go on down. You have created something that I don't think you truly can appreciate. A legacy of love, a legacy of education, a legacy of concern. And because of that, where did we go? There it is. Won't say that it opens a bottle of beer. I knew it was coming.
Two people who have are part of a love story. This whole event is about love. Jairy and Sissy grew up together in Lancaster. They were high school sweethearts. Now, Jairy had a ducktail haircut. He was a football star, had a fast car and a hot guitar. And Sissy was a golden girl. She was a beauty, and she knew, with the band, she knew how to twirl, how to dance. She did it all. So they ended up becoming a couple, and as a couple, they have moved through several communities in the Southeast in Jairy's role in the educational process. But they've been here for about 30, and having come here, they have made a major difference in this university. When I rolled into town in 1972 to start my newspaper in Summerville, somebody said, "I bet you didn't know there was a college around here." And I said, "No, I didn't." And they said, "BCLA." And I said, "Where's that?" And they said, "It's Baptist College, Ladson almost." And I got to know the school, and I became a fan of the school, and I actually have a daughter-in-law, my son Will's wife, who is a graduate here also. But over the years, when Jairy and Sissy moved here in the 80s and he took over the school, we became friends. They lived in Summerville. They raised their children there. And I was so happy, my wife and I were both so happy to get to know them and enjoy their friendship. And then suddenly, the next thing I knew, they kind of eased over into Summeyville, North Charleston. But we have forgiven them for that. And we still love them. But I tell you this, their love for this university, their commitment to this university is unsurpassed. Sissy, everybody knows about Jairy. Jairy is everywhere. I mean, he asks me for money every time I see him, and I see him almost every day. And he's good at that. Now, Sissy, on the other hand, she has the patience of Job, because I promise you, she has listened to thousands of hours of Dr. Hunter's speeches, thousands, and I've never seen her walk out on one of them. She also has spent countless hours and worked with busloads of spouses who've gone on trips when we have Board of Visitors meetings. She's raised funds for scholarships. She's done it all. They are, in fact, a true husband-wife loving team who love God, who love this university, love the Low Country, and I wish them the best ever. And I hope God will keep them in the palm of his hand forever. thank you for what you do, and you mean a lot to Summerville. We've had a lot of connections. You know, we have a lot of faculty members from live in Summerville and students from there. So it's a real pleasure for me to say how much we love you as well, and thank you for what you do.
Honored guests, what a tribute these guests have made to Jairy and Sissy over the years. And as we began our 50th anniversary celebration at Charleston Southern, it is most fitting to recognize the First Lady and the President for their servant attitude, service leadership over the 30-plus years that they've been here. I am honored to represent the Board of Trustees here at Charleston Southern on this special occasion, and also would like to recognize the donors. Now, the chairs are kind of close in here, and most everyone in here probably will stand, but if you made a contribution, or you or your family made a contribution to the original center that we had, or to the new wing that we have here, would you please stand? Thank you so much. 25 years ago, this site was a vision, partly on behalf of, as Debbie said, Richard Blackman, who is a resident of Lancaster. And one day he came to my office and he just said to me, Jairy, we need to do something for Charleston Southern, at the time Baptist College. And so a breakfast meeting was formed, and Dr. Hunter invited a lot of his cronies from high school. Now, you know, by the grace of God, Dr. Hunter is with us today because a lot of us knew him and knew about him when he was in school, and thanks to Sissy, he made it. So, but in doing that, he came and said, we need a place, a central place, when you visit this college, that we can go and have direction to go somewhere. And he said, since he was a director in my company, I had no other choice when he says, Jairy, you're going to be the secretary and you're going to lead this program. I noticed that Davis Lever is here, I think one of the two that was originally on the program with us. But Dr. Hunter came up with his group that he had invited, and sure enough funds were committed at that breakfast meeting that it really just inspired us to go on. And Dr. Hunter then became the catalyst to move out to other friends of Charleston Southern to make this really a reality here. So it is with great pride that Jairy and Carolyn, Sissy, Hunter, will forever be a symbol of their love and dedication to this university with their name on this year today. And so it is my wish to you that God may continue to richly bless you both. Thank you so much. God bless.
I'm Jairy Hunter. Oftentimes refer to myself as the real Dr. Hunter, but that title has been usurped by my wife, sitting in the front row. I have to say that I'm, because of the name, the similarity and the spelling and so on, people from outside who come into town are oftentimes confusing me with my father and vice versa. But I have a confession to make that sometimes I'll let them go on for a little while before I correct them into thinking that I could be the president of a college as well as a doctor at MUSC. So hopefully you'll forgive me for that. I don't know what my dad does. I'm sure he never corrects them. But I also, just looking at this beautiful building, I'm just wondering if there's any truth to the rumor that my mom insisted that the admissions and the financial aid and the veteran services portion of the building would be under her name, and the part with the cashier and the accounts would be under my dad's name. I'm not sure about that. But I'd just like to welcome everyone here and thank you for being here. We consider everyone here family and friends. In fact, my daughters asked me last night, how is it that I know so many people who were coming up to us at the dinner? And I just had to say, we're related to half of them. But it's really true that we feel related to almost everybody here. So what can you say about Jairy and Sissy Hunter that hasn't already been said? The shimmering brilliance of the millennial Twitterverse notwithstanding, there's not much that you could say. You could say that the names that Jairy and Sissy Hunter have become synonymous with Charleston Southern over the past 30 years, and that the character of CSU and the identity of this couple and that of Charleston Southern are intertwined such that one has become a reflection of the other. And in both, no greater praise can be given that people see Jesus in both of them. It's been said often by my mother in a moment of exasperation as they were either scrambling to make an appointment or catch a plane that my father has never met a stranger. And if you are acquainted with him, you'll know that he can strike up a conversation with literally anyone. Within a matter of minutes or hours, if you happen to be an unlucky soul that's seated next to him on a plane trying to get a nap, that person will have a new best friend, and Dr. Hunter will leave with a check for the Board of Visitors. Open, welcoming, bold, unassuming, unpretentious, dignified, these are all words that describe my father and also that describe Charleston Southern and also this structure. The writer of Hebrews says that we are to show kindness to strangers, for many of us have entertained angels unawares. I can tell you that Sissy Hunter has no doubt entertained countless angels because, as you know, she takes that to heart. Hospitality and service are in her blood. She's a true servant in every sense of the word. She's constantly working out details for some CSU-related event and exudes class and grace. She makes each person attending an event feel like it was designed specifically with them in mind. And there's hardly a day that goes by that I'm not approached by some colleague or former student or teacher or parent who tells me how much they love my mom. And I'm always gratified, and I say, well, I do too. That this structure exists is a testament largely to the kind and generous hearts of the people of Jairy and Sissy's hometown, where they were known as Buddy and Sissy. Isn't that the cutest thing? It's just perfect. Now, and I do have to make one small correction, Mr. Collins. I'm not sure about the football star part, but all of the rest of it's true, as far as I know. But that this building has been expanded and will be utilized for an even broader purpose is a fitting tribute to the openness, the reputation, the commitment to academic excellence, the expectation of service, and the Christ-centeredness of this institution and of these two people. Excuse me. This is the first image of Charleston Southern University that many visitors, parents, prospective students will encounter. It's where their journey will start with admissions, financial aid, registrar, and other functions. The spirit with a little s, and the spirit with the big S, of this building and the functions carried out within it are emblematic of the honorees named on the outside. I dare say that even as they are honored, so is CSU honored. So I'll leave you with this charge from Paul to the Philippians. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think on these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Thank you.
I'm Jill Hunter McElhenney. I am Sissy and Jairy's daughter and the other Jairy's sister. And I also get the confusion of which is my brother and which is my dad. About 30 years ago, in the spring of 1984, my parents made the decision to leave Wilmington, North Carolina, to pursue a job opportunity here at CSU, which was then called Baptist College. My brother and I, along with many of you, thought they had probably lost their minds when they made that decision. They had decided to leave the stability of North Carolina and a state university and all the wonderful friends and connections we had made in North Carolina. Baptist College had an uncertain future at that time, and we didn't know anyone here. I remember my mom describing the trip to me, their first trip here to the campus. She said to me, sorry, let me find my notes again. She said to me that your dad and I had finished our interviews here at CSU, or at the time Baptist College, and we were leaving the campus, driving away. Something stopped our car, and we had to turn around and look behind us. And when we did, we saw the chapel, and the chapel was under construction, and she said, we felt like we were leaving a child behind. At that time, I still thought they had lost their minds, but it didn't take long for me to realize that CSU would quickly become a big part of our family. Though I didn't attend CSU as a student, as a young teenager, I spent a lot of times in the women's dorms with Laurie Horton King, who is here today, and other young Christian ladies who were helping to watch me and look after me while my parents did a lot of fundraising in those early years. These women became lifetime mentors and Christian role models for me. Our family also lived in the dorms at CSU after Hurricane Hugo for a few months. We lived right under the basketball team. So, my husband and I were married in the prayer chapel here at CSU within Lightsey Chapel, and our children have attended the sports camps here at CSU. So it definitely has become a second home for our family. It's obvious that CSU was not only the child that my parents were adopting, but each and every student on campus has been adopted by my parents as well. If you've ever heard my dad talk to a student on the phone or in person about grades or behavior or any of those kinds of things, it's easy to think that he may be speaking to one of his own children. The telephone conversations with students I've ever heard sound eerily similar to the receiving end of conversations that my brother and I have both experienced. I'm fairly certain that he's taken away the car keys of students before, but I'm not going to be quoted on that. Although the job of leading the school is officially extended to my father, it's well known that it's been a joint effort by both of my parents for the past 30 years. My mother, Sissy, has been both the behind-the-scenes worker as well as the front and center representation of CSU. She's hosted more dinners, luncheons, baby showers, bridal showers, and cookouts than anybody I know. Because there's never been an official presence home on campus, most of these events have taken place at our family's home, off campus, with Sissy in charge. My parents have welcomed so many students, parents, and other guests of CSU into their home. It's not unusual when I was growing up to have students at our dinner table, especially over the holidays when many of them could not go home during the holiday breaks. A few years ago, the Wingate Inn over here was built on campus, and the revolving door at the Hunter Hotel, which a lot of people have referred to it to, has been slowed down just a little bit, thanks to the hotel. Now I understand what my mom meant when she said they saw the chapel and felt like they were leaving a child behind. I've watched CSU grow, mature, and prosper under the care of both of my parents. Most importantly, that story's taught me that following God's will often means leaving the safety and security of your current situation. I no longer think my parents had lost their minds with their decision to come to CSU, but I realized that this was truly God's will for both of their lives. And I'm hopeful that this building will serve as a reminder of their commitment to CSU for many years. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Well, this has been an especially good day for us. Thank you so much. We're indeed appreciative for the recognition and sincerely grateful to the Board of Trustees and everyone who has supported this beautiful Center for Services for Students. More importantly, we thank God for having provided us the opportunity to serve in Christian higher education. The new wing of the Hunter Center signals continued progress for the university, and I am extremely humbled that the Board of Trustees decided to place my name on this beautiful building. Thank you very much.
Well, what can I say except it's about time to eat, right? Now, if all of you here today have not made a commitment, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. You know, the staff, the faculty, the students, alumni, our friends, our donors, hey, you're the ones that's making this special. Now, I had a couple of people here that I went to high school with, and you don't need to be talking to them during the day. They have to get on back to the office, back home, and so just don't go there. I'm a different person than I was when I was growing up. I'm not going to meet you out in the parking lot if you didn't like what was going on. So we're not going there. But it is a pleasure to be here, and I can't resist this thing my son Jairy brought up. We were in our Sunday school class, and of course, we're growing, you know. We kind of move through the age groups, you know. Some churches have age groups, and we kind of, we ended up to the last one about 10 years ago. And we're sitting there, and then Sister Mary or Uncle Frank, about every month someone passes away. So I turned over and I asked my wife, I said, what is the name of this Sunday school class? They said, To Eternity. I said, I'm out of here. Out of here. I am not staying in this class any longer. And so we did. Now, she stayed on a little while longer. But I joined the middle age group. You know, started a leadership group, you know, and then my Sunday school teacher took over. But, you know, that's what you got to do in life. You just don't ever join the last group. You know, we're not going into Super Bowl. We're in the fourth quarter, but we're not in the Super Bowl. So you got to keep doing that. Well, I love what I'm doing. All of you know that. I get up every morning, and this is the honest truth. My wife is a witness, and my children will tell you. I get up every morning excited about going to work as if it was the first day I ever came here. No kidding. Now, I'm not sure that everybody who works with me is that excited. But that's all right. I love my work. I don't have any plans to retire, so don't go and say, well, is this a retirement party? I'd have never used that word in my vocabulary. I might say rest, but not retire. So I don't have any plans, but Lord willing, I'll keep working until I can work. And then the blessing that I have, I've been teaching for 45 years. Every semester of every university where I've worked, I've taught a course every semester. And you say, well, do you get paid? No, I don't get paid a lot for that. I do that because I want to. And plus, it keeps me halfway as smart as the students. Now, I did something in this past semester that was the most frightening thing I ever did in my life. I kept hearing from our dean of the School of Business, John Duncan there. He said, Dr. Hunter, you know, you used to have 30 in your class in the MBA strategy course. He said, you know, last year you had about 20. The other year went by and said you had about 11. I said, well, what's happening? He said, well, you get good evaluations. That's not the problem. So then I got down to 7. I said, what is happening? He said, well, they're taking it online. I said, oh, no. And so he encouraged me, you know, if you want to stay in the game, you might ought to think about learning how to do this. So that was the most difficult thing I've ever done. So I had a lot of people help me. I humbled down to some of the younger professors, and I asked for help. And so they've helped me. I completed last semester, first course, what you call a hybrid course. Half the classes you go and half you're online. So now I'll be doing another one this fall. But anyway, that's the type of experience I have. Now getting back to my son here, talking about the church, we're sitting in that same To Eternity class, you know. And this dear lady was sitting behind us, and she didn't know that I could hear. And she said, I don't know how that Dr. Hunter does it. She said, my husband's been in the hospital for 3 weeks, and I've been staying over there sometimes all night long. He says, and all night long, they're paging Dr. Hunter. And you know, and then the next day he goes up and he runs that university. You know what? I never told her any of
I'll see her one day in eternity and I'll get it straight. Well, this is a fun day. This is probably one of the best days I can ever remember, except getting out of active training with the Army. You know, this is just a day that I will never forget, a day that is just so wonderful for the university. It's not for us. This is a testament of what our students and our alumni deserve. They deserve first class. They deserve easy accessibility to taking courses, to getting financial aid, and to getting their transcripts transferred, and yes, paying their bill. And so this is where they can all do it. They can pull in this parking lot, take 15 minutes at lunchtime, get their business done, take off, and they're on their way. So that's what we've dreamed about, and thanks to all of you for making this possible. I close my saying with saying something, my favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:4. Now, all of you know that, I'm sure. It says, rejoice, rejoice, we rejoice. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
I don't